Happy Friday, February 24th, 2023. And don't put your blinker on after you're already making the turn. Frustrating. Blinker is advanced warning. Let you know you're going to make the turn. Don't turn it on after you're already in the turn. Seriously, people. All right, let me put this on cruise control, and then I'll go on cruise control. All right, I should go live today. I thought about it, but the thing with going live, I got to figure out how to save the video after the stream ends, so that at least I have a record of it. And anyway, because if you go live, it's just going right to YouTube, and then if I want to go back and cut something out of it, which I sometimes do, and put it on Twitter, because you've got a smaller time frame on Twitter, then I can do it because I got the original video. But I don't know. There's probably a way to save it automatically. I got to look into it. Didn't make a video yesterday because I was looking into stuff. I was migrating web servers and didn't get much sleep. Usually got to do that in the off hours, so that's what I was doing. Yeah, it just didn't work out to make a video yesterday. Weather was kind of crappy. Didn't feel like going outside. Just had a lot to do, so I didn't do it. But today, I'm in the DigiByte 2 making the video on the anniversary of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. 1 year ago today. That's the big thing now, like it's President's Day or something. Some big anniversary to celebrate. See white and blue Ukraine flag colors all over the place. I saw somewhere, I don't know where it was, somebody had painted on one side of the street the Ukrainian blue, and then dumped yellow on the other side of the street, to show solidarity. Somebody funded that whole operation, the paint and the vehicle to paint it. Anyway, to show solidarity with Ukraine. And then meanwhile, you got cars driving down the road getting wet paint on their tires. And I'm thinking, even though this is a DigiByte that's, 19 years old, I don't want paint flying up in the tires. And people, come on. You can show solidarity with your little ribbons that you wear around that show you care. And why do I care if you care? Just support it. If you want to send money, sign up for an FTX account. They'll get it there. Oh wait, got rid of that. I'm sure there's another one that we don't know about yet that'll implode, and we'll realize that all that money got funneled. Hey, Janet Yellen, our Treasury Secretary, or Gnome Secretary, whatever she is, elfish. I don't know, she looks like some kind of character out of a mythological book. Looks like Dabo or whatever his name is on Lord of the Rings. That kind of flavor going on, that mold came out of. So she says, yeah, we're going to assure another $10 billion to Ukraine. So in the past year, there's been various numbers. The one they said today was 113 billion that the U.S., the Federal Reserve has created to give to Ukraine. The cabal has created to give to Ukraine to fund that effort. And you know what? They're not even in NATO. So we don't have some alliance or pact with them. Gotta ask yourself. There's an investigation, a called for investigation that the UN, the Russians have said, listen, this thing started in 2014. This isn't, something that happened just a year ago. No, it's been ongoing. We've got NATO encroaching, we've got the West, and basically said, this is a war for our survival against the West. It's a pretty big statement. And China also agreed, they're calling for UN an independent investigation on what's really going on in Ukraine. They're calling for it. Apparently they want transparency. And then we've got the U.S. saying, they're just making crap up. They're stonewalling, trying to take attention off the real issue of Russia invading Ukraine. Now, whenever somebody shuts down one side of the conversation, that makes me think they got something to hide. So if we've got the United States, or at least the representatives of the United States corporation, saying that, we don't want an open investigation, a transparent investigation in this whole situation. Why not? If we're really sending money over there for the things we say we're sending money for, why wouldn't we want it? Oh, no. Let's not roll that down. I don't even want to get out. But I'm going to stop. Get the mail. Which there isn't any. Oh man, all these buzzers and gadgets. I mean, this car, what I don't like about it is if I put my dog over here on the passenger seat and the seat belt's not on, it detects the weight as being a little bit enough anyway, that it sets the alarm off. So every, I don't know, 30 seconds it'll go ding, ding, ding. So annoying. Need to disable that. I disabled the horn because, anyway, gotta make it the way I like it. Too many bells and whistles, and that's just more things to go wrong. Look at this. This guy drains his washer or something in the street. It's full of ice. It's dangerous. All right, so yeah, Ukraine and the money, and I mean, come on. Let's just look at the surface of it, and we look at the ones who have one narrative, and then they don't want to discuss that narrative. They just want to say this is the way it is. Give me more money. And Zelensky's out looking for more money again. I mean, how much does it take to win a war? And I think, are they really? Look at this guy. Going a little fast there, Padre. So, mailman, I know, I'm kind of in a mood. People. So I put myself in a position where I don't have to deal with a lot of people. You know, most Americans, I think, just want to be left alone. You want to be able to make money, you know, for the job that they do and get paid with money that's not going to get devalued, not get, through inflation, just by printing it and giving it to countries that I don't even know what we're fighting for, defending other countries' borders, supporting other countries' pension funds. We just want to get paid in sound money that's going to hold its value so that, you know, someday if we save it, if we can save it at this point, we can pass that along to the next generation. It's actually going to hold some value. It's not going to be worth a whole lot less by the time they need it. Alas, but that is not the world in which we find ourselves. No, we find ourselves in the middle of a vampire casino that continues to bleed us of our energy, forces us to participate. You know, I was thinking about this yesterday, so I should have made a video yesterday. I got all these things on my mind. All right. I want to talk about Litecoin Ordinals. Maybe we'll get to that here in a little bit. Litecoin Ordinals, you know, that's the big thing. It was on Bitcoin Ordinals, and the Litecoin, here I go, I'm getting into it. No, back up a little bit. Look at its magic bitch! Flashing his lights. He won't watch this video, so, you know, I'll make fun of him flashing his lights. No, because he's not going to watch the video. And if he does, we'll know, won't we? Happy hour today, 4 p.m. Central Time on Litecoin Lisa's channel. I'm sure Magic Mitch will be making a magical appearance on Happy Hour today. I'll be having a few drinks. I'm going to be smoking a cigar. Don't know which one yet, but I'm gonna light one up. Burn it, baby. Burn it all down. Burn down the vampire casino. Sick of it robbing us of our wealth through inflation, forcing us to play with vampire casino chips that, you know, sometimes work, and when they do work, you know, you need a lot more of them. Well, I don't have that many. Well, they used to be able to buy this with these stack of chips that I've got here, but I can't now. Well, too bad. Used to be a $100 chip on it. We've changed it to a $50 chip. What? Well, this is what we do. And, you know, here's what they do now. They'll come out and they'll say, we gotta switch these out. What do you mean we gotta switch these out? Yeah, it just doesn't have the purchasing power that it did. You know, you might as well just change the number on it. Like, what? It's gonna be so much easier. You know, they're gonna be able to digitally change the money with a central bank digital currency. Think of Kohl's. I think of Kohl's. You know, they used to have and a lot of places do it now, but Kohl's department stores, they've got the digital display now to where they can change the price, and they could probably just do it remotely. You know, the manager goes in, or they can probably do it at the corporate level, centralized level, you know, uplink, boom. And so what happens is you used to have to go out and manually tag everything. You used to have to put a, hey, $9.99 for this rack. Now, since it's digital, they can have the description right there on the little display that sits on top of the rack, and then it can have the price, and the price can change at the end of the day, or it can change in the middle of the day. You can walk by and say, hey, that's a pretty good deal. I better go get my wife, make sure it's okay to buy it. You know, it's $6.99 for this shirt. Bring her back, and it says $8.99. It's like, wait a minute, you said $6.99. What the frick? You know, and they can change it. It's digital, centralized. Same thing with the money. They can artificially, well, she didn't say artificially. They can change it to whatever they want if it becomes digital because, alas, it's just code. And code can be changed if there's no restriction on it, no rules, no playbook. And so that's what's going to happen with our money. They want to take us all digital. And we are digital already, so face it. I mean, you can't buy gas. It's all digital. Pump shut down. I mean, you know, you can't pay. You can't do anything. You can't go to the store and buy anything because the machine registers, the scanners, all that stuff. It's all digital already. So just get over the fact, you Luddite, that it's going digital. We're here. We are digital. It is what it is. Do I like it? I mean, I'm not saying I do. I see the benefits. I see the great costs and risks. But the fact is we're there. Everything's digital. This car will not run. It's so digital, it's ridiculous. All these sensors and this and the old DigiBug. Hopefully this mailman brought the sensor I need. The map sensor I'm going to put in. Hopefully that fixes it. Because it doesn't run right. If the sensor's clogged up, you know, it's got oil on it. So everything is digital. We're completely, you know, Madonna said we're living in a material world. No, we're living in a digital world. Yeah. That's where we're at, living in a digital world. That's the title of today's video. Living in a digital world. Maybe, we'll see. But when you give them the power, these vampires, to be able to create money at will, and it's all digital to where they can control it, just like that little price tag, you know, that's digital on the rack. When they're able to do that and program the money, that's a problem. Hey, you don't support what we're doing in Ukraine? Guess what? You know, your wallet, you know, that everything's tied to, your account, your social credit score account fed now through the Federal Reserve that holds your CBDCs. Guess what? Those social credits, we're going to lock them up. We're going to knock you with a big score. And guess what? If you don't have 3 out of 5, you can't go into certain places because the digital door won't open. Or if you do get in, you got a 3.1. You can come in, but you can't take the elevator. You know, you can't scan and take, oh, sorry, your score's too low. The elevator doors don't open. Mother. So you got to take the steps, you know, for social credit scores under 3. So you badge it. Oh, yeah, okay. Who are you? Retinal scan it, whatever it is. Implant. Phone, it's already basically your digital footprint implant. That opens up and you get to climb the stairs. Call an Uber. Uber doesn't show up because your social credit score shows up on their side and they're like, I ain't picking up this cat. No, he's dangerous. You know, that's a bad deal. So, you know, you start getting locked out of society, you know, when everything's, hey, call Domino's, you know, order online. You're like, social credit score is too low. You know, instead of the, you know, $9.99 special we got from the one topping pizza, you got to pay $13.99. Like, what? And delivery is a little higher because you're sketch. You're a sketchy dude. Your social credit score is too low. So, you know, it's going to cost a little bit more for delivery. Mother biscuit. And that's what happens. Or they might say, you know what? You've ordered these freaking pizzas, you know, once a day. You're ordering too many. You know, these aren't healthy. You know, what you're throwing on the cheese sticks on the side. I mean, you're not going to be able to order cheese sticks today. So they'll make sure you can't order. Well, I flagged it. No cheese sticks for you. We're out. Okay. Give me the pizza. They can control the money. If it's digital money, it can be programmed. And they can decide how much you can use, how little you can use, when you can use it. Might have windows of opportunity. It's like, no, you're supposed to be in bed right now. You got to get up and serve the state tomorrow. So you need to go to bed, so you're not able to order anything after midnight. Like a freaking gremlin, you know, don't feed it after midnight. These gremlins, vampires are looking at us like, look at these gremlins, we're not feeding them after midnight. That's when we really feed, though. Interbank interest and, you know, moving money around in the dark. Vampire casino system. That's what you're looking at. Got to find ways out of it. Really do. Because they're going to continue to do things in real life with that money as long as they can. They're going to continue to rob you of that energy. And how are they doing that? Well, they're going to create another $10 billion to give it to Ukraine. They've already created well over $100 billion. Some say $200 billion already. the entire gross domestic product of Ukraine in 1 year. Everything they produce, their output of everything, all their production in 1 year is $200 billion, 1 whole year. Everybody. We're basically funding them with money that just vampire casino chips that get created. But the thing is, we're still on the hook for it. And we'll never pay back the debt, but they're going to make it look like, oh, yeah, we need to pay back the debt. And, you know, that's why we need your taxes. That's why we need to steal some of your energy out of every check. Wink, wink. When knowing full well that will never cover the cost of all the things that they create, all the money they create. It can't. It's impossible. It's a Ponzi scheme. There's not enough. You can't do it. It's a debt-based system. You can't pay it off. That's just the way it is. We'll talk about that in another video. You can't pay it off. It's impossible because it's not set up that way. So it never gets paid off. It goes in perpetuity. Everybody says, oh, we need to balance the budget. Do this and do that. It's impossible. It's not going to happen unless you completely just knife government and take 90% of it away. And it's just not going to happen. Can't do it. I mean, all the funding, all the dependencies, see, they've got you already hooked on Social Security, which you paid into, by the way. They get you hooked on that, get you hooked on Medicare, which you paid into, by the way. Got you hooked on all these social programs that you need, and they're inefficient, and it's just whatever. You see, at a certain point, you say, some people just say, I just need to get through. I'll just be, as long as I can get through life and, you know, keep my pension check coming, my Social Security check coming, and I get through, then, oh, well, had to die anyway. At least I had fun while it lasted. And see, that's the mentality of some people. That's not my mentality. I can't handle that because I know those vampires are still going to be running the casino when I'm gone. And my kids have to deal with it. Everybody else I know has to deal with it. And I don't want them to have to deal with it. I want them to walk out. I want them to get out of it. Don't participate in it. Quit playing. Quit getting the scratch-offs. You're not going to win. It's a tax on the poor. That's all the lottery is. They lie to you. Get out of it. Stop playing in the vampire casino. I saw on a local channel last night a jewelry dealer. You know, big one in the area. And get your engagement, you know, you got to, oh, you know, show her the best, you know, oh, engaged, you know, engagement, and oh, give her the best ring, you know, and all this stuff, and we'll finance it for 5 years. You're going to finance a rock. Granted, it's a hard rock, but a rock for 5 years, you're going to finance it. They're going to give you this, I mean, asset. Go look at De Beers, Debeers, De Beers, and the diamond hoax, and well, how it's not really valuable, yet they've deceived us into basically giving over more energy. Vampires. So we'll finance it for 5 years so that you can show her that you love her, how much you love her. Then you get divorced because you argue over money. I mean, you see how they're playing you? Completely playing the population. What do? Well, what do we do about it? Guess what? Don't buy the diamond ring. And if she can't deal with it, too bad. Go get an emerald that actually has real value. I mean, go get a real precious, give her some silver ring, real precious metal, gold, whatever. Give her something of real value. Go trade in a ring and see what you're going to get out of it. What do you get, like 10% of the freaking whatever you paid for it? Loser! You lose! You played in the vampire casino and you lost. Stop it. Just stop it. Stop it. At least you can take the silver or gold ring and you're going to get that weight in gold or silver back in the current dollar price, you know, or whatever you want to get for it. At least it holds value. No more vampire casino chips, okay? Find things that have value and hold them. And if we're going digital, here it comes. Yes. If we're going digital, which we are, if our money's all going to be digital, let's just get the CBDC, the central bank digital currency, and call it good. We can trust them. You know, they've done well with the current money. No, you can't. What do you need to do? You need to look at sound money, sound digital money, something that's been around for a long time, something that's been running for a long time, something that you hold in your possession. You're sovereign. It's your money. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Litecoin. Sound money for the digital age. Something you can hold in your possession. Something you can send and transact with. Something you can send to someone across the world on a Sunday when all the banks are closed. And that gets there. It's gotten there for over 11 years. The network has never stopped running. Never failed. 100% uptime. That's the kind of thing you want in a digital world, in the digital age. You want something that has, and it's got a scarce value. You know, I talk about it. 1/100th of a Litecoin for everybody in the world. That's all. That's it. Divided equally, 1/100th. Go get a Litecoin. Think about going and getting a Litecoin right now for under $100 bill. You get a whole Litecoin. It's only 84 million that can exist, you know, and a lot of them have been lost. Only 84 million. You get one, you're one of 84 million. Way ahead of the game. Way ahead of the game. And now we've got Ordinals on Litecoin. Talk a little bit about that. But there are people who are upset by it. It's like, oh, it's just going to fill up the blockchain with these NFTs and pictures and garbage and all this stuff. All right. 20 minutes in. Do I want to go in any further? Maybe I'll talk about it more on Happy Hour. Ordinals on Litecoin, I think, is a good thing because it brings people into the community. It gets people looking at Litecoin, gets them thinking about what can we do with this technology. It's always going to be sound money. It's always going to have an underlying value. And let me give you an example real quick. My buddy Bex Weir, he's got 1 ounce silver coins and he puts the Road to Ruta stamp on it, you know, beautiful design, and only makes so many, and it's on the edge. It shows how many there are, you know, and there's a fixed supply of them. So let's say he mints 10,000 of those. Each one's on in 1 ounce of silver. All right. It's the same thing with Litecoin and Ordinals. One Litecoin's always one Litecoin. It's always going to be sound money for the digital age. You're always going to be able to take it and transact it and move it around anywhere you want, 365 days a year, 366 days on a leap year, 24/7, anywhere in the world. No bank, no government can tell you not to do it. Runs on its independent network. That network is solid, has been for over 11 years. There's no stopping it. Okay? That Litecoin's always going to be worth 1 Litecoin. It's always going to have that value, and it's going to suck up all the fiat money. So today it's 100, tomorrow it's 1,000, then it's 10,000. It's going to continue to add value as more people come into it. So as more people come into it, for whatever reason, if it's Ordinals, if it's the security of MWeb, if it's whatever, like the logo, as more people come into it, more people want it and need it and use it. That makes it more valuable because, again, it's a pie, and you're getting a piece of the pie. When the pie's gone, that's it. Name your price. How much is it worth? I'll finance you one for 5 years. Pay me in DigiByte back over that 5-year period. We'll see what happens then. Then I'll finance you DigiByte for 5 years after that. I'll be the bank. So the Litecoin always has value. But what's happening is you're taking, let's say, a piece of art, or think of this, a will and testament, mortgage, deed to your house, you know, a message to your children. Anything you want to preserve forever will be able to exist on that blockchain in the form of an ordinal, a coordinate, you know, not a coordinate because it's one, but a location pinpoint on that blockchain. And what better blockchain to put it on? One that's, you know, is not going away. It's always going to be around. You can put it on Bitcoin because you say, oh, it's been around a little bit longer, but the cost and the bandwidth is smaller. It doesn't have the capacity that Litecoin has. See, this is where Litecoin shines. Light, shining light, is because it's more suited for this kind of thing. You can put more information on that blockchain. It's cheaper to do. Now the costs will go up. Then you move to Dogecoin. Then you move to DigiByte. You move to Vertcoin. You move to these other blockchains. That's why you need multiples, and one doesn't fit the bill. It can't be Bitcoin only. It can't be. It can't handle it. So you put an ordinal on Litecoin. So you always got 1 Litecoin, but now, just like Bex Weir did with his Road to Ruta coin, he's got 1 ounce of silver. It's always worth 1 ounce of silver. He's going to stamp the Road to Ruta stuff on it, you know, and make, you know, the limited number and all this. It's still 1 ounce of silver. It's still going to hold its value as 1 ounce of silver. However, there may be people that say, holy crap, yeah, I like silver and I understand that, but man, I really want one of these coins. This is beautiful. I want one of these. There's only one of 10,000, you know, and I want one. You've added value to that silver network. Well, with an ordinal, it's the same thing. You can add something to it, whether it be artwork, whether it be a message, whether it be a famous quote, whatever it is, it's going to be locked in there forever. And you may say, you know what? I like Litecoin. I know I can always get rid of it. But now it's got this stamped on this address. I want that address. I want that Litecoin address. And I'm willing to pay over $100 for it, for that Litecoin. Willing to pay $200 for it. See where it's going? Doesn't matter. The fundamental value is always going to be there. And guess what? If the blocks fill up and it costs more money to transact, that just means that there are more people in Litecoin. And the price is going to reflect it because there's more energy into it. So that energy of the other money that's coming into it is going to be greater. It doesn't matter. It's a choice. And you know what? You may say, hey, I got this Litecoin with this ordinal on it. It's really cool, man. And the guy's like, I don't care. It's just like going to a silver dealer. You might get a silver coin that, is a rare limited release by a government or a mint or Bix Weir's Road to Root a coin. You take it in, they're like, I don't care. It's 1 ounce of silver. I'm going to give you what 1 ounce of silver is worth. That other stuff doesn't matter to me. And you're like, all right. And so, that other value that's been stamped on it, he doesn't see it. But somebody may come along and say, hey, I want that. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the underlying value of the asset. And in this case, the blockchain of Litecoin. It does not affect it. Doesn't affect it. At some point, maybe the blocks are filled up and it costs more fees to do things. But the market will decide that. It doesn't matter. If there are more people wanting to have a bite of that piece of pie becomes more valuable. There's more energy in the whole system. That's the beauty of it. So it's up to us to decide where we want it to go. And if it fills up, pretty soon people will be like, you know what? I ain't spending my Litecoin. I'm not going to pay with Litecoin. We're going to treat it like Bitcoin. It's like, I'm going to hoard it. This stuff's worth over $1,000 each, $10,000 each. I ain't getting rid of it. I'm going to transact with Dogecoin. Blocks fill up on that. I'm going to transact with DigiByte. Blocks fill up on that. Now we got a problem. No. Then you can go to a second layer if you want to. But, as long as we can do it on chain, and it's, when I say on chain, on that base layer of the blockchain to where that transaction is forever saved in the ledger, in the database, in that chain for that particular blockchain. So it would always be forever enshrined in Litecoin history, and all the computers running a node, just running the code is going to have a copy of that, a record of that. Be here forever until that last computer stops running. I mean, that's the beauty of blockchain. It's completely decentralized. So, if the Russians nuke the United States, guess what? Litecoin blockchain's still running. All that money that's out there, you didn't lose it. You might have lost your private key on your phone, so hopefully you wrote it down and put it somewhere safe on like a stainless steel device. Go to Crypto Keys and get a crypto key and stamp it on there, so it doesn't burn up. And then you can just restore it somewhere else. I'm going to Russia or China, and I'm going to restore it because they're working. They're still going. Blockchain's still working somewhere. I'll go restore it, and in that local currency, I'm going to decide, okay, fine, I'll buy a little piece of property here, or I'll rent a pad or a loft, and, whatever. The money's still good. The money doesn't go away. You get nuked, and you got, $10,000 in cash. Sayonara! It's gone. The beauty of blockchain is it will persist even after us, and we don't have to worry about it. And we know because in that blockchain, it's mathematically programmed to become more scarce as we go along into the future. So it's the perfect form of money going forward. It's going to hold your energy. Think about being able to pass off. Just go get one Litecoin for every one of your grandkids. Just go get one Litecoin, put it on a paper wallet, put it in a private wallet, open up a wallet, get the 12-word seed phrase, send one Litecoin in it, delete the wallet, gone forever. The only thing that can restore it's that 12-word seed phrase, give them that. Put that on, a stainless steel, whatever. And then at some point, they can go restore that on whatever device. And, oh my gosh, look, I got one Litecoin. It's like giving one Litecoin to your grandkids right now. Depends how old they are. Say they're 10 years old. saying in 20 years from now, they look at it and like, holy crap. Or even when they're 21, you get it 11 years from now. It's going to be like Bitcoin was 11 years ago. What was Bitcoin worth 11 years ago? Well, that was what, 2012? How much was it worth? Not $100. Okay, let's say $100. What's it worth now? Like 24,000. Pretty good increase. Same thing's going to happen to Litecoin. It's just a time frame thing. It's a timing. That's all it is, because it's mathematically programmed to become more scarce. And so 11 years from now, if you've given someone one Litecoin, just $100 worth of energy right now, if you save that $100 bill, you're not even going to be able to buy, you won't even be able to buy a candy bar with it. So take that $100 bill and put it into something that's going to hold value over time. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help the future so that the future doesn't have to play in this frickin' vampire system. And if we start thinking that way more long-term, because that's what they do, they think long-term. They think generationally, because they're a vampire clan. They think, we don't die. And when they physically die, they don't, because their bloodline goes on and the same mentality goes on and the same things keep happening over and over again. And they have for hundreds of years, thousands of years. That's why it's so important, the blood, and the relationships, why they intermarry. It's because it's why they do these things. Got to keep it in the family, keep the same bloodlines, mixing. Then they become mentally ill. And that's why you see a bunch of, got to be politically correct here, a bunch of handicapped brain people running around, running things. They're all inbred. Let's call them the flower generation. Flower, because they're inbred. Anyway. All right. Look into Litecoin. Look into DigiByte. I mean, you look at these things and start thinking long-term. Quit looking narrowly focused and say, Bitcoin only coin. Everything else should die. Bitcoin best. I mean, come on, man. Just like Bud Light, that's all you get. What? I don't want a Bud Light. It gives me a headache. That's all we got. We got Bud Light. You got nothing else. I'm going to go out and make my own beer. And that's what happens. Humanity is not going to settle for just one thing. There's not. We never have. We want variety. We want a little flavor. Yeah, I want this kind of beer. I want that kind of cigar. Today I'm in a different mood. I want something different. Same thing with crypto. You gotta have flavors. They all do something different for you. Embrace it. Embrace it. Realize it's better than playing in a vampire casino. And somebody that says it's only this coin, nothing else matters, this is the only thing, then they're lying to you. They're liars. Don't listen to them for anything. It's just the way it is. I mean, you look at real life and you realize, wait a minute, there's only one thing that should exist? Only one? And you look at the variety that gets created in life. Is there just one thing? Is there just one vehicle? Is there just one flavor of soda? Just one kind of beer, one kind of whiskey, one kind of bourbon? No. I mean, come on. Just look at how things evolve. I mean, and that's why that's why they're brain dead. People that just preach about one coin. Because it just can't be. Just look at nature and look at what humans do. Just look at our history. It's never just one. All right. Harped on it enough. Losing my voice. Happy hour today at 4 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you tune in. Litecoin Lisa's YouTube channel. We'll talk about this stuff. Maybe I'll get into the Ordinals a little bit more and hash that out. I'm not an expert on it, but I try to understand it enough to where I can give you an analogy so that you can understand, the concept of it. Because that's what I want to understand, the concept of it. I don't need to know all the details. That's why we have programmers that are just like crazy genius people that can't communicate in public. I shouldn't say that, but they're kind of in that world, and that's what they do, and they're great at it. That's not my world. My world is trying to figure it out and bridge the gap so I can communicate and tell people, okay, this is kind of how it is. This is how it works. And then you can understand it. And like, okay, yeah, I get it. And if I can teach that, if I can do that, then I've won. I've succeeded. I've taught you something. I've taught you. All right. Hope you have a wonderful day. Get out of the vampire casino. Find ways to exit it. Find ways to put your energy, your power, your worth, everything that is you, because you're valuable. Don't let them devalue you in any way. Don't let them do it. Find ways out. Okay? All right. Love you all. Start thinking about the next generation. Leaving the world better than we found it. That's really what it comes down to. Find ways to do that. They don't do that. They destroy things. They burn things up and derail things. That's what they do. Don't be them. We win. Light always conquers the darkness. One little match in the darkness. Look at the light gets diffused and other people see it and they're called in. Lighthouse is that lighthouse. Litecoin is that lighthouse that calls all the wandering boats home. It really is, and there's something deeper to it. Anyway, that's why I resonate with it. I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Hope to see you on happy hour. And above all, trust yourself. Trust yourself and don't look back. Best advice I can give. All right. Have a wonderful Friday.